William is one of the most iconic racetracks in the world. Proud host to nearly 2 decades of World Cup action and to the sport's most committed and hardcore fans. Where better then to start the 2024 season of the UCI Mountain Bike Downhill World Cup than right here on this brute of a course in the outdoors capital of the UK.
The start hut now drops in from beside the cafe atop Moor. And then it is a bullet fast but extremely rocky, choppy run down to the woods off the top. Red Bull road gaps in there, as is the big dune, the big fast sweeping turns after it. The new Hazard Hoofer. Big river gap, 12 metres or so. The Shimano motorway section's been revamped as well. Into the event, Scotland Wall, and then the finish, and it really is the length, 2.9 kilometres long. Fort William, the Norwegian rider, drops in that new start ramp. Yeah. And Miriam, we talked about in the juniors, it really gets you up to speed fast, that ramp, doesn't it, here?
Yeah, it's so much better, but the first corner is still the same, and it's not a big berm, so you have to keep some good speed.
Based near Hafjell in Norway, where there used to be a UCI World Cup racetrack, just gets across that second gap. It's big iron, isn't it? 12 metres or so?
Yeah, when we walked the track, we walked up to that, and you just think like, oh, cool, another little, 15-foot jump or whatever, and we were walking up to it, and the landing just kept getting further and further away from me. I was like, wow, this is pretty big.
51 kilometres an hour through the speed trap, so Johnson tuck in, right away over the far side of that jump, and may have maybe just lost traction on the loose surface. Millie Jonset off the bike, has to go back around the pool where she left the track. Disaster for Jonset.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, that's a bummer. She was pulling back some time, too.
Yeah, really consistent.
1.4 back, though, for Cabarrou.
Yeah, you can see her struggling a little bit in those top turns. They're tricky. There's really big holes kind of in the sweet spot of the berm, so you want to try to cut under them a little bit. And if you get it right, it works out pretty good. But if you get it wrong a little bit, it really messes up your speed. It's really a hard track to figure out.
2.4 seconds, 50 kilometres an hour through the jump line. Yet Reece Wilson said it earlier in the weekend that the best run you'll ever do at Fort William doesn't feel like a great run. No,
if you cross the finish line here feeling good, you've done it wrong. You're going to need to suffer a bit.
Marine Cabarrou crosses the line then and goes second behind Scarzy, so gives you an idea of how good a run that is from Gloria Scarzy. Cabarrou in second place. Michaela Parton gets her season underway at her home track. The cloud has blown back in at the top. Miriam, vision really limited up there.
Yeah, vision is tricky, but I guess they are used to it because it was like this morning for training, and they know the track really well. So
yeah, as we rejoin the live, it's clearer down here. What are the times going to say for Michaela Parton? 2:10, so she's in touch with Scarzy's time. Michaela Parton then. Still working, still believes. For BNC Racing, just across there and no more. Teammate Dan Parfitt, really, really strong in the junior men's race. Michaela Parton. The clocks are red, but as Aaron says, she's going for a top 5. Comes down through that big compression. Over the finish line jump. Crosses the line. Michaela Parton goes into 5th. 7 seconds back on Scarzy. Gloria Scarzy, Miriam, has put in a superb time today.
Yeah, I love watching Nina race. She's one of those riders that it seems like every time she crosses the finish line, there's just absolutely nothing left in the tank. She gives it everything she's got. I just have Mount St. Anne flashing through my brain.
Yeah, whenever she...
Both tires blowing off the bike. She's still wide open. Oh, man,
1.5 seconds up at the first split for Nina Hoffman. Hoffman on the charge now.
Yeah, you got to believe she's going to be one of the women here really fighting for that overall title.
5.9 seconds at the second split.
Yeah.
So Miriam, she was one of the favourites at the UCI Worlds last year, and it's the one that got away from her really, but she looks like she's channeling that frustration here today. Nearly 6 seconds faster at the second split.
She loves Fort William, and she's super strong. I raced with her in Australia beginning of this year, and she was like on fire. She made some huge jumps. Nina is ready for it.
140 beats per minute.
there's no way.
6.8.
If that's true, I give up.
6.8 seconds at the fourth split to the good for Nina Hoffman. Hoffman heads down towards the line. She got her first win back here in 2022. Is she going to get it? Another one today in 2024. Hoffman crosses the line and goes fastest by 6.6 seconds. Nina Hoffman into the hot seat ahead of Gloria Scarzi. The German national champion takes to the hot seat at the first race of 2024. Another rider who hasn't chalked a victory here before, so would like to do so today. We didn't see a lot of her, as I said, last season due to that massive horror crash, really, in Palarin Sal Andorra, Aaron, but she's so consistent, Balanchine, isn't she?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she was kind of one of the girls that was just, you know, that championship level rider. Really
1
big
second
injury
back,
last year.
3.3 back at the second, so that time of Hoffman.
Yeah, Nina definitely threw it down. It'll be cool to see how Camille can kind of adjust as the season goes a little later. You know, coming off a big injury like that, when you finally get back to the World Cups, is never easy. You kind of got to find your place again. You feel like you just want to get a few under your belt, and then you can start to build the season as you kind of get into the midway point.
Well, she's found a second, but it's gone back out away from her again. 3.1 now on the fourth split. 46 kilometers an hour through the jumps. Pushing that massive gear still, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep the leg speed up when they're tired, so sometimes you got to go to a bigger gear so you can at least kind of stand on top of it a little bit. Still a solid run from her.
Balanche heads towards the finish line. Where's she going to stack up? Camille Balanche back in the thick of things in second place, 3.3 seconds behind Nina Hoffman. Hoffman looking good in Fort William. Can she win here on a canyon?
Go on, Tanny.
First in qualies, second in semis. Tanny Seagrave leaves the start hut at her home round, the opening round of the 2024 UCI Downhill World Cup. 0.8 of a second faster at the first split, Aaron. It looked aggressive, and it now looks like it's paying off.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tawny's always so strong here in the first split. It seems like every year she's getting through that spot, I think, where she had that big crash and a bit of an injury the other year, a few years ago, actually.
And she loves this wood.
Yeah, let's see what Seagrave can muster in this wood section then, as she heads towards the split.
Low line.
Oh, 1.6 back, but she is in touch here. And from now, it's about being very, very fast and very, very precise. 51.4 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. 48 kilometers an hour on the entry to this jump line.
Yeah, time to dig deep here. Was nice exit out of that corner, got inside of the bumps.
She's found a 1/10 of a second back, 1.7 now. Seagrave going well in Fort William.
Pedal hard, giving it.
Tanny Seagrave tucks in, heads down towards the finish line. Big off that final gap, over the jump. Tanny Seagrave heads towards the line. Tanny Seagrave goes second, 1.2 seconds outside the time of Nina Hoffman. Valentina Höll leaves the start hut to get her season underway. And the clouds come back in, Aaron. Fourth generation of that bike, Aaron, one you're familiar with. She's 0.6 of a second up at the first split.
Yeah, she looks like she's kind of finding that good balance of flow all the way down. She's aggressive where she needs to be, but she's kind of rounding these corners out nice and carrying momentum coming out.
She don't even need to pedal so much because she keeps some really good speed through here. Ooh.
Oh, 100 and that'll spike in a second, that heart rate, 148 beats per minute through there. You just saw the back wheel step away from her.
Yeah, that berm will make you laugh if you walk the track. There is zero dirt left in it. It kind of G's you out in just a bunch of rocks, and you can sit there and stare at it for 10 minutes. There's no good line. You just got to go right through the middle of them.
This section through here is so rough. Oh, I told you.
Again, the back wheel just trying to get out from underneath her.
Yeah, this is usually the point when your hands have just about had enough. You're ready to get onto a smoother section of track here.
So about as minimal a team move as you'll get, but she's 1 second back at the split two now. All of a sudden, it's Nina Hoffman's race to lose.
But she's enters the woods super fast, so she can make the difference here.
Nina Hoffman currently leads with 441.9. Valentina Höll, this woman, is on the hunt for her opening win of the season.
Yeah, she said in an interview I saw that she wishes the season started somewhere else. A really hard track just to jump straight into to start the year, but
1.2 back at the third split, so she didn't find it in the woods, but now she's
it's
brought it
coming
right back. 200ths of a second at split 4 for Valentina Höll. Can she find the time on these jumps and this pedal?
Super powerful and still.
It goes green. The split at the top of the drop-in went green. Valentina Höll commits over the final jump, crosses the line. Valentina Höll wins in Fort William.
Amazing.
Valentina Höll wins the opening UCI Downhill World Cup of the season in Fort William. But she had to fight for it every inch of the way with that woman, Nina Hoffman, the one that she said was going to give her the tightest race here.
What a race.
Wow.
And look at their time.
Nina Hoffman still well happy with that result.
Yeah, I gotta love to see it.
Strong girls.
Absolutely buzzing. Nina Hoffman from the Santa Cruz Syndicate with that one, but Valentina Höll, Aaron, that went back and forth the whole way down.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have a brand new bike, brand new people on the team. Back to the track where I won World Champs last year, so there was no time to even rest. And it's a proper track to start the season for sure.
But the first of the overall title holders to kick things off with a bang was Valentina Höll. Vali Höll takes the win in Fort William, just as she did last summer at the UCI World Championships, Glasgow. Höll, Hoffman, Seagrave, Balanchine and Scarzy, your top 5 then at round 1 of the UCI Downhill World Cup in Fort William. Talisman. Valentina Höll then, by half a second in Fort William. Takes the win from Nina Hoffman, then Seagrave, Balanchine. Scarzy's in 5th. Cabarrou, Gale, Newkirk, Parton in 9th. Krasnik rounds out the top 10. Standings then, Valentina Höll leads the way by 60 points from Nina Hoffman, then Seagrave, Camille Balanchine, Gloria Scarzy, Cabarrou, Newkirk, Parton, Gale, Johnset.